What is your favorite album by the Hives? What up everybody, JakeyDelicious here, and I'm back again with another appropriately timed top 5 video. This time my subjects being the legendary Swedish rock gods, the Hives. At the time I'm recording this, they just dropped their 7th studio album last week called The Hives Forever, Forever the Hives, which means there's obviously more than enough material in their discography for me to go back and listen through and compile into another highly esteemed top 5 list. Will the new album make it on my list? Find out right here, right now, on Jakey's Music Corner.
Alright.
These guys are one of my favorite modern garage rock and even punk bands of our time. They just produce this certain raw yet tight rock and roll sound that I just love. I also saw them for my first time at a club in my hometown last year, which means I got to go right down front and rock out with my friends and a bunch of sweaty strangers. And I can confirm, while I do wish we heard more older songs, my socks were still rocked. So without further ado, let's get into my list. All right, number 5. At this time in the band's history, and I think in my personal music taste, I'm gonna go actually with the new album, The Hives Forever, Forever the Hives. Apparently this new record was recorded with the same guy that did the first album, with additional help from Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age. So that fact alone just gives it kind of some extra credibility sauce. I honestly was skeptical about them releasing more new music after that last album, but I'm actually recording this on the Friday that the record came out. I listened to the record this morning, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by what I heard upon first listen, which I feel like is kind of rare for me. Most times it takes me at least 2 or 3 listens to really get into something that I know I'm gonna love. There's some weak moments on here, but overall it's a very fun and even like dancey rock record. Paint a Picture is sick. That classic little tempo change they do in there is really cool. OCD OD, Born a Rebel's sick. So yeah, all in all, there's some cool riffs on here, some fun songs, and it's number 5 on my list. Number 4. Death of Randy Fitzsimmons. This is their first album back in years, and seemingly also the beginning of whatever comeback kick they're on right now. I honestly love this album when it came out. There was a ton of hype behind it because, again, they hadn't released anything in years and years. So when they came back out with Bogus Operandi, Countdown to Shutdown, even Rigor Mortis Radio, those songs all rule, and they're all immediately classic Hive songs in my opinion. First 4 songs on this album are all bangers, and I can confirm once again that they do go off live. Stick Up kind of loses me. I feel like the horns in there are kind of weird, at least for me. The lyrics are also kind of lame on some songs like Crash Into the Weekend and The Bomb, but they also still managed to make for some super fun or at least humorous songs. Great comeback album, number 4. All right, number 3, I'm actually gonna go with Lex Hives. This album sees them kind of returning more back to their garage rocky kind of sound, or in my case, just all the good stuff from the Black and White album. Songs like Come On, Patrolling Days, Midnight Shifter are amongst some of my favorites. Take Back the Toys and I Want More are once again classic Hive songs. Without the Money's kind of a snoozer, and My Time Is Coming is also kind of a skip for me, even though I think it was a single. But overall, I do think this album does just have a bit of a better flow to it. Kind of gives us more of that classic Hive sound, at least more than some of the swings and misses on the last record before it. So yeah, just another great rock record and a great return to normal after some experimental stuff. We're at my number 2. We're now getting down to some of my favorites here. I still have 4 albums that I haven't mentioned yet, so they could be anything. I think for right now, my number 2 in the Hives discography is Veni Vidi Vicious. This was just a really solid follow-up to their first record, which is also amazing. It's just a little more put together and kind of catchier than that last record that was mostly just like straight balls to the wall punk stuff. The songs on this one are just a little more thought out. They're a little tighter. I feel like there's more emphasis on the songs themselves more than just the energy of the songs. There is one slow point, which is the cover of Find Another Girl. But other than that, this thing is chocked with Hives classics that unfortunately don't get played as much as I'd like to see them played anymore. But hey, that's what the records are for, so we can always go back and relive those glory days.
Right.
All right, here's my big grand number 1. I should probably be only holding one finger up for number 1. There's 3 albums I could be picking from here. Once again, there's probably the obvious answer, but there's 2 more I could say too. But enough build up, let's get this thing out of the way. My number 1, Tyrannosaurus Hives. This is my Hives album, baby. It's the first one I started with, and again, it's chocked with hits upon hits. I have a video here on my channel where I talk about the best first song you ever heard by a band that got you hooked on everything else they've done. And for me, with the Hives, Walk Idiot Walk is that song. Abracadabra is also a banger of an album opener. It'll get you hooked and rocking right away. Two Time and Touch and Broken Bones, Missing Link, See Through Head, those are all songs that have been on my various playlists over the years. Antidote is such a hidden gem that I wish we got to hear more live. If you watch their famous Tussles in Brussels performance on YouTube around when this album came out, they actually opened with this song, which will most likely probably never see again. Even some of the slower songs on here, like Diabolic Scheme and stuff, are really good. The cover art is classic too, the artwork of them. Amazing album, my favorite by the band. So there you have it, folks. That's my current top 5 albums list by the Hives. Once they make it up to 10 records, which could happen soon with the current trajectory they're on, I'll be able to do a giant top 10 list where nothing gets left out. But for right now, those are my top 5. The Hives rule, the Hives forever, forever the Hives. Let me know what you think of my list below, why you love it, why it sucks. Either way, I'm delighted to hear your thoughts. Once again, I also have my own music out right now. I have an album coming out October 10th. I have a few singles out from that right now, which you can all find here right on this channel or wherever else you stream music. Other than that, thank you guys again for watching this. Let me know who I should top 5 next, and stay tuned.